Hello, Taurus. I'm Jen with Timeline Tarot. Hope you're doing well today. This is your message from your ancestors as of November 11th, 2025. I've set the intention of this reading to be for Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. So if you have Taurus in any of those placements, odds are there's a little message in this reading for you. Also, keep in mind, Taurus, this is a collective general reading. It is not individualized nor personalized to you. Messages may come through today that do not fully resonate. And if that happens, don't get upset. It just means that one message is meant for someone else watching. So just take what fits, how it fits, leave what doesn't, and be sure that you check out your other placements. Also keep in mind that I am a Gemini. My ruling planet of Mercury is now in retrograde, and so I may stumble in terms of communication during the course of your reading. And if I do that, I do ask for your I was going to say ask for your apology, but I do extend your apology and ask for your forgiveness ahead of time. See, it's already started. All right, with all of that said, let's begin. Tapping into the Taurian collective now for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. What is the message from the ancestors for Taurus today? What would you like Taurus to know? One more shuffle here. Thank you. Your ancestors would like to tell you expression. And at the bottom of the deck, you have union. First thing I noticed on the expression card were all of these butterflies, but I also noticed that the individual on the card is has a veil on the lower portion here of their face. So I feel like you're not being, I feel like I've tapped into a group of you, or maybe you're not being authentic to who you are, or you've been holding back expressing something. Tell me more about this here for Taurus. Why is this their message from their ancestors? And I don't mean this in a crude way or in a rude way, but I feel like you've been keeping your mouth shut about something. Like and I say that because the individual has a veil going across their mouth. So it's like you see what you're supposed to say. You see what you're supposed to say. You know what you're supposed to say, but you're not saying it for some reason. Okay, what is this here for Taurus? Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. Why is expression their message from their ancestors? One more shuffle here. Thank you. If you were to say what you want to say, it would transform something in your life with all of those butterflies. Okay, first card out, Hangman. The Fool. Okay. Queen of Swords and the Eight of Wands. Bottom of the deck, Temperance. Three of Wands and Eight of Cups. Wow. Six of Swords, Nine of Wands. Seven of Swords here at the bottom of the deck. Taurus, I feel like you have been Hangman to the Fool card. This is a Taurus who is seriously contemplating having a new beginning in their life. And now it could be in career and finance, love and romance. Maybe some of you are contemplating moving. Whatever it is, you have been considering it for quite some time, but you also have been like suspended from taking any action. And I think why you have been suspended in taking the action is because first you actually have to speak it. Queen of Swords to the Eight of Wands. Like you have to say it in order to move forward. And your ancestors are telling you it's time to say it so you can move forward, so you can move towards the new. I feel like you're being guided at this time by Archangel Michael to move forward in that Three of Wands to the Eight of Cups. There's something here that you are not satisfied with. It's not emotionally pleasing to you. You're not fully content with some area or aspect of your life. And although you know that you should like move forward, there's something, I don't want to say you don't have courage. I think you're an incredibly courageous sign. I always say that you're the backbone of the zodiac. And it takes a lot of courage and perseverance to be the backbone for all 12 signs. But when it comes to this one particular thing, I don't think that maybe you're lacking courage. I don't think that's what it is, though. I think it's more like fear. I think there's some fear here in saying, what is that Sarah Bareilles song? Brave. Say what you want to say and let the words come out. All right, tell me more about that Hangman energy. Why has Taurus been suspended here? I think you've been suspended. You're holding yourself back from a new beginning. Why is that? One more shuffle. Thank you. The Devil, fear. There's fear here. There could also be like a toxic codependency. It could be addiction. I'm not really picking up addiction on this one, though, Taurus, to be honest. There's either fear, anxiety, insecurity, or there's a codependency on someone. And that's why, even though you know you need to move on from them, you're a little reluctant to do that because maybe you're codependent on this individual. We have the Devil, we have the Nine of Swords, and we have the Three of Cups. Bottom of the deck, the Death card. Yeah. I think you've been thinking about this for a long time. That in order for you to be happy, content in that 3 of Cup energy. You need to put an end to whatever situation, environment, or connection this is here in your life. If this message is resonating for you, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. With that 9 of Swords card to the Hangman, you have been contemplating this and thinking about this for a long time. You just haven't been doing anything about it. There's no action here. Now, if you're a Taurus where you have taken action, then this just simply is in your reading, and that's okay. You're welcome to check another placement. But I've tapped into a group of you where you're like, I would be so happy if I were, I don't know, in another job, lived in another community, if I was lived in my true authentic self, if I didn't have this person in my life anymore. Death card, 9 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles. Yeah, it's like you see happiness, long-term happiness outside of this situation, environment, or connection, but you haven't taken any movement towards it. It's like you're afraid to say it out loud. There's some fear here in saying it out loud. Queen of Swords energy is someone who would just say it, right? Why the fear of saying it out loud? Queen of Swords. Okay, the 10 of Cups just came out. So I'm asking why the fear? 10 of Cups, Empress, and 7 of Pentacles. Bottom of deck, King of Wands. High Priestess, the Lovers. You already made this choice, Taurus. Something inside of you is like, I want to move in this direction. I want to just say it and be done with it. But I'm afraid of upsetting the family. There's something like that with that 10 of Cups. I'm afraid of disappointing someone, or I'm afraid of leaving the family behind. So I could be speaking to a Taurus where, I don't know, maybe the company, the family business here is like accounting, and maybe you're like a 3rd or 4th generational accountant. I don't mean to laugh, but I always say accounting is my examples because I was an accountant at one time. So there could be something like that here. And you really just want to be able to say to your family, look, I'm really proud of you for having a 2nd, 3rd, 4th generation accounting firm, but I just don't want to be an accountant. I know that I've been doing it, but it's just not the legacy I want for my life. And there could be here like fear of disappointing, right? The devil to the 10 of Cups would be like fear of disappointing the family. They'd be like, oh my God, now you're telling us this? And you're just like, yeah, well, I've been thinking about it for a long time, right? Hangman to the 9 of Swords to the devil. I've been thinking about leaving this behind. And it doesn't mean that accounting is toxic or your family business is toxic. It's just, I know I would be happier, 3 of Cups, doing something else. I could be speaking to a Taurus where maybe it's very traditional in your family to get married. You could be in a marriage right now you no longer want to be in, and you've been contemplating divorce, and you just don't want to say it. You don't want to upset the family or the spouse or the children or your parents. So there's something like this. Like if I were to say what I want to say so I could be true and authentic to myself and be able to go in another direction, I'm afraid it might disappoint a lot of people. And I don't want to disappoint people, right? I don't want to rock the union that's in my life. Union with my family, union with my friends, union with my colleagues, union with my spouse, even though I know it's toxic, even though I know it doesn't serve my highest good. I could be speaking to one Taurus where maybe you live at home with your parents, with your family, and you would like to go out on your own. And maybe you feel like if you do that, you would be cut off financially. Devil to the 7 of Pentacles. You could feel like, if I tell them I'm not going to college and they want me to go to college, and I tell them I'm not going to college, I'm not going to travel the world for a year. You could feel like if that goes against the grain of the family that they might cut off your finances. Or if you leave the family business, you might be ostracized by the family. If I leave the spouse, I might lose some, financial wealth or something I've worked on for a long time. Tell me about the 8 of Wands. So there is here a fear of loss in the Taurian community and the Taurian collective. Take a look at that 9 of Wands. Tell me what that 8 of Wands is here for Taurus. One more shuffle. Thank you. 8 of Wands is clarified by 6 of Swords, Queen of Wands, and the Strength card. Bottom of the deck, 3 of Swords, the Emperor, and the 4 of Wands. Yeah, there's something here of I don't want to upset the family. I could be speaking to a Taurus where you're like, I don't want to be the first person in my family to get a divorce. I don't want to be the first person in my family to come out and say I'm gay. I don't want to be the first sibling here who doesn't want to be part of the family business. I don't want to disappoint people. But man, inside of you in that 8 of Wands, you've got the 6 of Swords, the Queen of Wands, and the Strength card. It's like you're holding yourself back. It's taking you everything that you have inside of you to hold yourself back from just saying it. But it's starting to build. 15 seconds of insane courage is all it's going to take for you to just say it and get it out on the table. And I feel like you're protected here. with Archangel Michael. He's like protecting your path forward. 3 of Wands to the 8 of Cups. So I feel like your message from your ancestors is to just say it. Just gather that 15 seconds of insane courage, Taurus, and just say it. Otherwise, you're living a life that's either not authentic to you or that is keeping you very small. And yeah, maybe not everyone would like the decision that you're about to make or what you're about to say. But at the end of the day, you need to be happy with yourself, happy with your life. And you need to live authentically in that Queen of Swords. That's really the message here from your ancestors. It's like it's time to say it, Taurus. Where's Taurus heading? Tell me about that 8 of Cups. Where's Taurus heading, or where would they be heading if they said this? What direction would they be going in? One more shuffle. Thank you. 8 of Cups is clarified by 5 of Cups, 9 of Cups, and the 4 of Swords. Bottom of the deck, 4 of Pentacles. Well, you would be walking away from a situation, environment, or connection that no longer serves your highest good. I do think that it comes with some remorse or regret on your part. Now, for some of you, it's why didn't I just say it sooner? Very well could be a remorse or regret. And for others of you, you could feel, I guess you would feel sad or bad, especially if like the family unit here did not agree with you. So there is a sense here of loss, but that's replaced very quickly by the 9 of Cups. The 9 of Cups is wish fulfillment. It's true, authentic happiness, more than what you were actually desiring. You were just desiring the 3 of Cups. This is 9 Cups. And you have 4 of Swords, which is healing. So I also think the secondary message here is, yes, Taurus, you are in a situation, environment, or connection that is toxic to you, or that is inauthentic to you, or you're living in a way that is inauthentic to you. And not to put it lightly or make light of this, you might have to break a few eggs here to make an omelet. But the omelet is everything you've ever wanted. This isn't. This is not authentic to you. There's also something here that secondary message is healing a communication wound. I feel like I tapped into a Taurus where you really have been afraid to say what you want to say. You're afraid of being ostracized. You're afraid of letting someone down. You're just afraid. And like I said, maybe for some of you, you're codependent on this individual when it comes to finances. But in that respect, that's a wound. That's like you're putting everyone else's needs ahead of yours. So for some of you, that 4 of Swords would also be like healing either a trauma wound within you or a communication wound within you. Can we get 3 cards of advice here for Taurus, please? 3 cards of advice here for Taurus. One more shuffle. Thank you. Your advice, Taurus. Ace of Wands, go towards the new. Ace of Wands, the Chariot, go towards the new. And the 4 of Cups. Stop staying in a situation, environment, connection, or even just a life that you're currently leading that is inauthentic to you. You have the opportunity here to have a new beginning, to move in a new direction. The only way that you would miss this is if you rejected it in that 4 of Cups. You could choose to stay where you're at, but it would keep you really small. This is like, and I forgot whose reading I was saying might have been a Pisces last week. This is the equivalent of like, you know, when you're born and you sleep in a crib. Well, that works great for the first couple of months or maybe a year. But as you grow and expand, you can't be 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years old and still expect to fit in that crib. You've outgrown the situation, environment, or connection. It has restricted you. It's like putting a bird that's, you know, a little baby bird in a cage. And as the bird grows, you never change the cage. It's become restrictive. And you can choose to stay in the cage and you can choose to try to fit into the crib. But your ancestors are telling you that if you just were to express it, 15 seconds of insane courage, aside from just healing that that wound, that like the communicative wound that you have, there's also something here about it leads you to happiness, to a new beginning. Very quickly, the new beginning comes in, and it's one that you're extremely content with. And the only way that you would miss it is if you sit there silent and you say nothing. Like I said, the choice is yours, but your ancestors are telling you, they're urging you at this time to speak your truth and move in a new direction. That is what I have for you, Taurus. That is your message from your ancestors as of November 11th, 2025. If you like that message, it resonates with you, you want to claim all or part of it, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. And until I read for you again, Bull Gang, I'm wishing you light, love, and peace.